Okay, we're in Acts, the 19th chapter, verse 24. It says, "For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen," right? So I have a picture. This is from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. I have a picture of Diana. Let me read what it says, the caption first. Diana, the Roman goddess of the moon, identified with Artemis, her Greek counterpart, usually represented as a virgin huntress, Diana of the Ephesians, Acts 19:24 to 35. Where we at? Acts 19:24. On point. Was a combination of the Greek Artemis and the Semitic goddess Ashtoreth, representing Semiramis, the patroness of the sexual instinct. Her images were lascivious. You're going to see she had many, many breasts. Her special worship was centered in the great temple at Ephesus, right? Diana of the Ephesians. Here she is. See all those breasts and lasciviousness is saying. Lasciviousness. That's Diana. Semiramis. Ethiopian. Nimrod's mother/wife. Here it is here. See? See all those breasts she have? Because it represents the fertility god. Fertility. Why she have all those breasts and so forth. It represents the fertility god. So now going back to Acts 19 and 24, we read about it. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrines for Diana, brought no small gain unto the craftsmen. This is what everybody's worshiping on Mother's Day. Diana, and all the other names she called, Mary and Semiramis, Queen of Heaven, whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation and said, "Sirs, you know that by this craft we have our wealth, making these shrines of Diana," like he says, "gain unto the craftsmen, no small gain," I mean, they make a lot of money. That's how they had their wealth. "Moreover, ye see and hear that not alone at Ephesus, but almost throughout all Asia, this Paul hath persuaded and turned away much people, saying that they be no gods, which are made with hands." See? You tell them, hey, this ain't no gods, it's made with hands. Just like I just took all that time to read all about these gods that they made. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, our craft is being set to be nothing, because people is believing that they have power of God. So that not only this our craft is in danger to be set at naught, set at nothing, but also that the temple of the great goddess Diana should be despised, and her magnificence should be destroyed, whom all Asia and the world worshipeth. Hear that? Who all Asia and the world worshipeth. And when they heard these sayings, they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, "Great is Diana of the Ephesians." This idol, Diana, going all the way back to the Queen of Heaven, going back to Semiramis. And the whole city was filled with confusion. And having caught Caius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater. And when Paul would have entered in unto the people, the disciples suffered him not. Say, don't go in there. They already got two of your companions. Hey, don't go into that theater. You have some real down occupant that stopped him, say, don't go into the theater. And certain of the chief of Asia, which were his friends, sent unto him, desiring him that he would not adventure himself into the theater. Some therefore cried one thing, and some another. For the assembly was confused, and the more part grew not, wherefore they were come together. And they threw Alexander out of the multitude, the Jews putting him forward. And Alexander beckoned with the hand, and would have made his defense unto the people. But when they knew that he was a Jew, all with one voice about the space of 2 hours. Hear that? Everybody there within the space of 2 hours cried out, "Great is Diana of the Ephesians." Can you imagine that? Non-stop for 2 hours. Crying out, great is Diana of the Ephesians. And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, "Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how that the city of the Ephesians is a worshiper of the great goddess Diana, and of the image which fell down from Jupiter?" See, it's all pagan. You see, the image that fell down from heaven, get out of here. Saying then that these things cannot be spoken against, everybody believes this, ye ought to be quiet and to do nothing rashly. So you be quiet, you ain't got to do nothing. Everybody believe that this is the God. This is the God, Diana. In Ephesians. That's why you had to go to Ephesians and deal with them, because that's the Israelites. Believing in the things that the Most High said. We done went from the Babylonian Empire. We was teaching our children, teaching the children. So you got these wicked Israelites that still want to deal with the way of the heathen. And ye have brought hither these men, which are neither robbers or of churches, nor yet blasphemers of your goddess. Wherefore, if Demetrius and the craftsmen which are with him have a matter against any man, the law is open, and there are deputies. Let them impede one another. But if ye inquire anything concerning other matters, it shall be determined in a lawful assembly. But we are in danger to be called in question for this day's uproar, there being no cause whereby we may give an account of this concourse. We kill them, they know how you gonna get account of why. And when he had thus spoken, he dismissed the assembly, sent everybody else on their way. See. And after the uproar, chapter 20, was ceased, Paul called unto him the disciples and embraced them and departed for to go into Macedonia. He left up out of there. See? So now, that just show you, even unto that day. And now they adopted the same things that we were dealing with back then, now. Bringing the same thing. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians, the first chapter. 2 Thessalonians, the first chapter. Greatest Diana. Can you imagine how? I was just having it in my mind. I couldn't get that out of my mind. They saying that over and over again, 2 hours straight. Remind me when I was in Pasadena, they played Village YMCA over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. 1 Thessalonians to drown out the truth. 1 Thessalonians 1, we're going to start at verse 6. And ye became followers of us. Excuse me, 1 Thessalonians, Salakia. 2 Thessalonians 1 and 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. You know? It's a righteous thing with the Most High to pay back those that trouble us. And to you who are troubled, rest with us. When a Mashiach Yahushua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, 200 million at that, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High. but believe in something that's pagan, like Mother's Day, the worship of Queen of Heaven, the things that we done then that we doing now. In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High, and that obey not the gospel of our power, Hamashiach Yahushai, who didn't observe no Mother's Day, or no Father's Day, or none of these pagan days, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction. I'm just here to warn you so it don't happen to you. Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Most High, Hamashiach Yahushai, and from the glory of his power, when he shall come to be glorified in his saints. In his saints, 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. And to be admired in all them that believe, have faith in him, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. And to prove who the saints are, Psalms 148:14. Because you kept hearing the Most High say he the power of Israel. Israel is a nation that's in exile from their homeland of Israel as a nation. Psalms 148:14, proving who the saints are. He also exalted the horn, which is the power, like the power of a bull, the horn of a bull, power of a goat, a ram. That's his power. Horn means power. He exalted the horn, or the power of his people, the praise of all his saints, who are who? Even of the children of Israel, who are we? A people near unto him. Praise ye the Most High, okay? So from there, we're going to look at 2 Thessalonians 2:8. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. I'll tell you what's coming out of his mouth. Let's find out. What he say? The wicked gonna be revealed, whom the Most High and the Hamashiach shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, right? So what's coming out of his mouth when he comes? Revelations, the 19th chapter, verse 15. Because verse 11 said, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, Hamashiach Yahushai, and in righteousness, according to the laws of the Most High, he does judge and make war. Right? So verse 15, what's coming out of his mouth? And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite or kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, which is the laws of the Most High. That righteousness, we know about that in Deuteronomy 6:25. And he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. So now, that's one way to let you know. Another one is 2 Ezra 13. Ezra speaks on how everybody, all the nations, the army, the navy, the marines, and the air force is going to get together to fight Hamashiach Yahushai. That's what he's going to do out of his mouth. 2 Ezra 13:9. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as we've been hearing, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one. Hear that? Burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of a renewable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So here, that's what's coming out of his mouth, to smite the nations, as we read. 2 Thessalonians 2:8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Most High, or Hamashiach Yahushai, shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him, whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. You hear that? All signs and powers and signs and lying wonders gonna be dealt with. As it is written. Look. Go to 2 Corinthians 11th chapter. Verse 3. 2 Corinthians 11 and 3. It says, but I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve, as we read about in Genesis 3rd chapter, though through his subtlety, being slick and sneaky, and so your minds, the way you think, should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach Yahushua. For if he that cometh preaches another Hamashiach Yahushua, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted, you might well bear with it. So you're going to be right down with them. When they go down, you're going down with them. That's what he's saying. So, I challenge you to change. And it's not hard. It's just a matter of where you at and where you want to be at. You know what I said? Where you at and where you want to be at. Because I know some of you probably offended. You got a lot of brothers that's been raised by their mothers, and they're going to take advantage of Mother's Day when you should be doing this all the time. Not just one day. So, I ask you this question. Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I'm telling you the truth. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Telling you the truth. And when it comes back and it said, you did not listen. This is why this is happening. You're going to think about it. That's why you got to change. Go to the book of Isaiah, the 42nd chapter. Isaiah, the 42nd chapter. And we're going to start at verse 14. I have long time holding my peace. So I said, I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. Now, all you women that have babies, you know how that is. I don't know how that is. I heard about it. See, most of the time, I'm going to cry like a travailing woman, a woman having contractions before birth. I will destroy and devour at once. You hear what he say? I'm going to destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs. And I will make the rivers islands. And I will dry up the pools. And I will bring the blind by the way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them and not forsake them. He's gonna bring us out of the darkness that these nations have put us in into his marvelous light. That's what we're coming back to, his laws, statutes, commandments. That's the light. We believing in Hamashiach Yahushua, going to the Most High on our behalf. They shall be turned back. You hear that? They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images. You hear that? All you that trust in Mother's Day, which is dealing with the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, Diana, all these different, Mary, all these different things, these idols that they set up. And you taking her place, that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, ye are our gods. You can look on, just Google it online. Hear, ye deaf. Hear, you that can't hear. And look, ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant? Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? We know his service is only talking about the children of Israel. We his servant. The servant of the Most High. He said, who is blind but my servant? Look at Isaiah 44 and 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. See? So it's talking to the Israelites still. Going back to Isaiah 42, 42nd chapter. It said, verse 17, they shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, ye are our gods. Hear, ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servants, the Israelites? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Most High's servant? It's cold. Seeing many things, but thou observest not. You see many things, but you're not really paying attention. Our attention span is like that. Boop. Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. Hear that? The righteousness is dealing with what? Keeping his laws, statutes, commandments. We read that in Deuteronomy 6:25. The Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. For you keeping the laws of the Most High, that's how he well pleased. So somebody tell you you don't have to keep his laws, he's not well pleased with you. He's going to burn you up. You're going to be part of that fire that's going to be kindled forever and ever and ever. But the Most High says in verse 21, the Most High is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law. This is his laws, his rules and regulations, and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. We're people robbed and spoiled. You know something spoiled, like spoiled milk? That's how you look at us. Robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. Hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none saith restore. Who said restore our people to our culture? Who we are as the Hebrew Israelites. This is a known fact. This ain't no secret no more. Who said restore us back to who we are? Everybody's still following along with the traditions of men that have you in darkness. Who among you will give ear to this? Who gonna listen to this? Who will hearken? Who will listen and hear for the time to come? Who gonna hear for the time to come? You done heard what he say he gonna do. Gonna be burning people up. He said, I'm gonna melt you. Who gave Jacob for a spoil? And Israel to the robbers. Who did this, it's saying? Did not the Most High? He told us he's going to do this. We read about it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what happened to you if you do this. This is what I'm going to do to you. Who gave Jacob for a spoil? And Israel to the robbers. Did not the Most High? He against whom he have sinned. He against whom we have sinned. We sinned against him. So he said, this is what I'm going to do to you. For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. See, that we wouldn't walk in his ways. He said, I've given you rules and regulations, man. Just do what I say do. I'm your power. I'm only your power. I'm nobody else's power but yours. And they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore, he hath poured out upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not, and it burned him, burning us up, killing us over and over again, yet he laid it not to his heart. He laid it not to his mind. Pretty soon, boop, going back to sleep, back to following the way of the heathen. He says not to. That's what we did. That's what we did every time. Go back to 17. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that say to the molten images, ye are our gods. Go to Psalm 97 and 7. Like they saying tomorrow, you are our gods.
As joined.
Psalm 97 and 7. Confounded, confused be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods. See, confused are the people that's following this pagan holidays that they set up for you to follow, so that the Most High will continue to have his face turned away from us. Man, it's crazy. Isaiah 42 and 8. And 18. Yeah, Isaiah 42 and 18. Hear ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that ye may see. So you can see. You can't hear. He said you can't hear, you can't see. Because you what? In darkness. Look at Isaiah 47 and 5. That's what happened. He said this to Esau. He told him, sit thou silent, be quiet, shut up, and get thee into darkness. Right? Darkness is ignorance, not knowing. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. See? So he told him to get into darkness. Now, once they got into darkness, what did they do to the people? Once they went into ignorance, that's why they got the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, and so forth. All these things that they gotta find out what was going on in the world, because they wasn't in the world. They was right out of the world into the Caucasus Mountains. And coming out in 1453 to now, they discovering things, trying to see what's going on in the world. Isaiah 60 and 2 says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. Hear that? Gross darkness, gross ignorance the people. But the Most High shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee, upon those that he's going to call his ministers to come back to him. Look at St. John, the 9th chapter. Understand this. This is not for everyone. That's why the deaf, they're not going to hear, and the blind not going to see. He don't want everybody to see this, because he don't want everybody to be saved. St. John, the 9th chapter, verse 39. St. John 9 and 39. In the Mashiach said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they would see not might see. You say, for judgment I've come into this world, that they which see not might see, and that they which see might be made blind. Right? It's deep. You say he came into the world for judgment, that they which see not, those that are in darkness, that can't see, might see. And those that think they see might be made blind. Right? From what they think they know. And some of the Pharisees, which were with him, heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also? So you talking about us? Mashiach said unto them, if you were blind, you should have no sin. But now you say, we see, therefore your sin remaineth. You know, because there's no transgression if there's no law. But since they say they see, their sin remaineth. You held accountable. Much is given, much is required. He always had a great answer for them. You study him. He said, learn of me. You study how he operated. Isaiah 9:2. The people that walked in darkness, in ignorance not knowing, have seen a great light. They that dwell in the land of the shadow of death, upon them have the light shined. We're dwelling where? Shadow of death in the Roman Empire. Because, you know, we fell in 70 AD. That's why he said, hey, shadow of death. We were dealing with death. A lot of things that happened to us during the time of Mashiach Yahushua is not, you can't look at the movies and see it. So a lot of people don't know it. They don't know the Bible well enough to be able to go in here and see what happened. Go to Matthew 11:11. Matthew 11:11. Shadow of death, yeah. Say, verily I say to you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist, who is Mashiach Yahushua's cousin. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. Right? And from the days of John the Baptist until now, this is Mashiach Yahushuah speaking. The kingdom of heaven, which is the children of Israel, suffered violence, right? We suffered violence. By who? And the violent people take it by force. You see? The violent people take it by force. Who are the violent people? The Romans. They're the ones that killed Mashiach Yahushua, the so-called white man. Killed him. Put him to death. For what reason? What was his reason? What was the reason to put him to death? See, nobody really putting that out, but they put him to death. For what reason? What cause? Look at oh man, this is look at Isaiah the 10th chapter, verse 1. Woe means destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decree. Was it a righteous decree? Put him to death? In that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Like they put over his head, the king of the Jews, put it all in different three different languages and so forth. Crucified him. I'm looking for the reason that justified them putting him to death. Surely you Christians have something you can bring forth, right? Something. I never heard no preacher say the so-called white man killed for Mashiach Yahushua. I never heard that. You heard that before? just to show you how there was no New Testament. All of my Shekhem Shai and the people of the New Testament had was the law and the prophets. Let's go to Matthew, the 4th chapter. And look at verse 16, right to the point. The people which sat in darkness saw great light. Sound familiar? The people that sat in darkness saw great light. And to them which sat in this region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. This is what we just read. Showing you that they only had the law and the prophets to go by. That's it. Go to Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23. What is this light that they sing? Well, the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. You see, the law of the Most High is light. And reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So when you following the law, go to Baruch 4 and 1 to 3. Baruch the 4th chapter, verse 1. It says in the Apocrypha, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life. That's everlasting life. But such as leave it shall die. So that's why you got a choice within the scripture. Keep the laws. You got an opportunity to have everlasting life. That's your works. You don't, you leave it. You do something that's contrary to the law and following the way of the world and the heathen and all that, you're going to die. And see, we held more accountable. That's why he said, hey, your sin remaineth. Because they've been called. Pharisees, they're the ones dealing with the people, telling them the Bible and so forth. And you hearing it, you held accountable too. That's what you called. So he say, this book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endure forever. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High and the law that endure forever. All they that keep it, which is the laws of the Most High, shall come to life. Will come to everlasting life. But such as leave it shall die. So is this world set up so that you can go into the kingdom to have everlasting life, or is it set up to have you die and go to hell, where the worms never die and the fires never quenched? I think it's the latter. Because they're telling you not under the law, but you're on the mercy of grace. And you get ready to honor the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, Mary, Diana, all the rest of these gods that they've set up for this day in the church tomorrow, and think you're doing something righteous. You praise the Most High for what? The Queen of Heaven? Semiramis? Who? Yourself? When you representing her, I'm talking to the women and those that are exalting them on this pagan day. Turn thee, O Jacob, verse 2, and take hold of it. Take hold of these commandments of the Most High. Walk in the presence of the light thereof. They're the light there. When you walk in the presence of the light, keeping the laws of the Most High, it says that thou mayest be illuminated. You hear that? That we could be illuminated. You're going to be illuminated when you walking in righteousness, according to the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. You're going to be illuminated, to be a light to the Gentiles. So our people, what our people call themselves? Gentiles. Straight up. You can be a light to our people. That's what you got to endure. You can't give in. You can't sway this way or that way. It's for our people. St. John 1, the first chapter. St. John, the first chapter, verse 3 and 4. First John 1. Now you're going to tell me Mother's Day is light, or is it darkness? idols are light? No, I don't think so. St. John 1 and 3. All things were made by him, by Mashiach Yahushua, as the angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High, that you read about in Genesis 1 and 2. And 1 and 1. Actually, all things were made by him, by Mashiach Yahushua, as an angel. First angel, first creation of the Most High. And without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, Mashiach Yahushua, and the light was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness. See, he in the Roman Empire. He came in the Roman Empire after the Greek Empire. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Our people, when he told you, Esau, he said, hey, get thee in the darkness. And once he got in the darkness, what did he do? He put the people in gross darkness, gross ignorance, right? So when our people, before Mashiach Yahushua came on the earth, go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 6. This is why I say to the Jew and to the Greek, the Jew and to the Gentile, because we the Israelites, this is what we had to deal with. 2 Maccabees 6 and 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts. We got rid of our culture, as it is today. Why people today, they're doing the same thing. They don't know anything about the Sabbath days, which are the holy convocations of the Most High, and the ancient feasts that we have, the days that we have, feast days and so forth. They know about these holidays, though, that's been set up for them to follow as the heathen do. But these days, listen, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. You hear that? That's why when you go to all these books, I challenge any of you, in the New Testament, it's talking to the Israelites, and I can prove it. Not talking to no other nations at all, only to the Israelites that's scattered among those nations, in those lands, period. So when you see it says, John 1 and 5, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not, because you look at all the time that the Greeks ruled, then the Romans ruled, and here he comes on the scene, and they're already in darkness. From following, when you look at First Maccabees, the first chapter, I went over this. You see, you look at the lesson I did, the wickedness of the Greeks and the day of Simon. Just in that lesson alone, you'll see and get an idea of how wicked it was when the Greeks came into power. In First Maccabees, you just read it. The first chapter tell you they was doing all kind of things. So it was unlawful to call yourself an Israelite. That's why, until this day, we call ourselves what? Gentiles. Grafted in. Don't know who you've been grafted in among, but you saying it. You claiming it. Just what they would have you to do. But you are the children of the Most High. It's beautiful. Go back to Matthew 4:16. It said the people the people that which sat in darkness saw a great light. Mashiach Yahushua, a great light. They saw a great light. And to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung up. He came. That's why I said in St. John 14:6, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. What is he saying? I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is Psalms 119, 142. You know I was going to get there. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So, he the way to show us how to follow the Most High's commandments and laws. That's going to lead to everlasting life. Like we just read in Baruch, the 4th chapter, the 1st verse and the 2nd verse. It said, from that time, Mashiach began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Hear that? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And Mashiach, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brethren, Simon, called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. So Peter and his brother were fishers. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him, right? And he went on to meet the other apostles. So from that point until now, As I'm speaking to you right now, we still fishers of men. Oh, but it's going to come a time that things going to change. And we near these last days where this change going to come. Go to the book of Jeremiah 16. Jeremiah 16th chapter. And verse 16. Say, behold, I will send for many fishers. That's why my Shai saying, follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. Said the Most High, and they shall fish them. We fishing, we bringing forth this truth. The foundation is of Mashiach Yahushua to the glory of the Most High, because we are Mashiachim, and Mashiach is the Most High, and no man comes to the Father but by him. So we fishing, trying to get our brothers and sisters to come back to the Most High, come back to a Mashiach Yahushua, understand that they are the 12 tribes of Israel, the Most High's chosen people, and to do what's necessary to be able to make it to the kingdom, that your name can be written in the book of life, right? Because if it's not written in the book of life, going into the hell fire, point blank. That's life or death. The choices you have, no other choice. So he said, behold, I will send for many fishers, Jeremiah 16:16. Said the Most High, and they shall fish them, like he told Peter and his brother, hey, come follow me, I'll make you fishers of men. And we still fishing. And after, only so long that we're going to be fishing. He's saying after, will I send for many hunters. So I'm going to send for many hunters. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. They're going to be rolling into the mountains, into the rocks and so forth. For mine eyes are upon all their ways. He see what you're doing. He know that everybody right now is getting ready for Mother's Day too. He said, for my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is there iniquity hid from mine eyes. So, when you understand, the Most High's eyes are what? 10,000 times brighter than the sun. 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Woo! Beholding all the ways of men. You ready for the Most High? Y'all ready for the Most High? Y'all think y'all ready for the Most High? You really think you're ready for the Most High? Well, this is look. Ecclesiastes 23:19. It says, such a man only fears the eyes of men. A lot of people, they concerned about how somebody look at them. And knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Hear that? The eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Doing what? Beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts, the most secret things. He knew all things ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. See? He see everything. And you're going to bring a judgment about it. But he's going to say with them hunters, when them hunters come, he said, verse 17 of Jeremiah the 16th chapter, for mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. Neither is there iniquity, their wickedness in following Mother's Day, honoring this God, Queen of Heaven, hid from mine eyes. Go to Isaiah, the 6th chapter. Isaiah 6. I believe I want verse 9. Isaiah 6 chapter. So I don't think people fear the Most High. Isaiah 6 and 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Hear what I'm saying, but you ain't gonna hear. See what I'm saying, but you ain't gonna perceive. Make the heart of this people fat and make their ears heavy and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. Woo! That's deep, right? That's a deep statement. Because if you're not converted, you're not healed, what you think will happen to you? Go to Mark the 4th chapter. Let me prove that Mashiach Shai don't want everybody to be saved, as you want to say, from your enemies and from the hand of all that hate you. Go to Mark the 4th chapter, because he spoke of some fell, he's saying, you know, a farmer went out and planted seed, some fell among by the wayside, some fell among thorns, some fell among stony ground, some fell among good ground. So let's see, and he's talking to a multitude of people on the shoreline as he's in a ship. That's how powerful his voice was. So Mark 4 and 9. And he said unto them, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. We done went over how he said, hey, hearing you're going to hear, and seeing you ain't going to see. To see whatever it is you hearing, to perceive whatever it is you hearing, you seeing. This is what he said. He said it a lot. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Because everybody can hear, but not necessarily understand what they're hearing. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12, you had some of the multitude that was with the 12 asked of him the parable, of what I just told you, what he had broke down to him. And he said unto them, now, why would you speak in a parable if it's for everyone to understand? Why you can't just go from Revelation, the 1st chapter, Revelation, the 22nd chapter, and understand what's going on? Or the books of Daniel or Ezra, and certain things you can't understand. Why not? Because he don't want to hear. But listen, he going to tell you. And he said to them, unto you, the ones that had enough sense to come with the 12, knowing that they rolling with them, unto you, it is given to know the mystery. That's something that's unknown, a secret of the kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables, riddles. Why? That seeing they may see and not perceive. That's what he said. We done read this over and over again. Here it is, he telling you himself. Yo, Jesus. He said that seeing they may see and not perceive. And hearing they may hear and not understand. Why? Least at any time